Since this Imam is going to sit in the place of the Holy Prophet, he will have Prophet-like attributes. And since the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet is going to resemble and is going to manifest the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the highest possible degree. That is the criteria and metric that we have for anyone who leads the Ummah after the Holy Prophet. This high level of standard was met by all of our Imams, including Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. You look at their teachings, you look at their movements, you look at their battles, you will find that. In one of the battles when Muawiyah and his forces were in charge of water, and they stopped, they cut off the supply of water to Amirul Mu'mineen, and then when his army took over control of that river, he did not cut off water supply to them. He did not. He manifested that level that he was supposed to display. Look at their teachings. Never for a single moment did they accept humiliation. Sometimes the fear of humiliation, sometimes the fear of poverty results in us getting poor sooner. Beautiful statement from Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. He says, Ajibtu lil faqir. I am amazed and surprised at a miser. Yasta'jilul faqr alladhi minhu harab, who brings poverty on him, the poverty that he fears, he wants to run away from. وَيَفُوتُهُ الْغِنَى الَّذِي إِيَّاهُ طَلَبَ, and he loses the ghina, the abundance of wealth that he has, which he wants. So this miser person, despite having wealth in him, he does not spend it. And therefore what happens? فَيَعِيشُ فِي الدُّنْيَا عَيْشَ الْفُقَرَاءِ, he lives like a poor person in this dunya. وَيُحَاسَبُ حِسَابَ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ, and on the day of judgment he will be accounted for. You'll have to give accountability for all the wealth that he had. Accountability of a wealthy person and the life of a poor person. So this fear of poverty makes one bakhil, and that results in you living as a poor person while you have all the wealth. Similarly, another statement of the Imam, he says, An-nasu min khawfi dhulm fi dhulm. People out of the fear of humiliation, they are in humiliation. Khawf of humiliation, the fear that I might be humiliated, results in people accepting humiliation before humiliation comes. We have that story of one of the companions, and it is strange that during the time of the first, second, and third caliphs, whoever refused to pay allegiance to the caliphs were considered outcasts, and they were considered out of the religion of Islam. When it came to the time of Amirul Mu'mineen, those who did not pay allegiance to the Imam, they were considered brave and courageous to be able to have done something like that. The criteria shifted. Previously, those who refused to pay allegiance exited the fold of Islam. But in the time of Amirul Mu'mineen, there were people who refused to pay allegiance to the Imam. And as you would say, there are two major sects in Islam. One is the Shia sect, one is the Sunni sect, and both of them accept Imam Ali Islam, some as the first Imam and some as the fourth Caliph. But we find people who did not accept the Imam, who did not accept him, neither the first nor the fourth. Until they lived, they fought battles with him. Which sect would they belong to? They neither accepted Imam to be the first, neither the fourth. And this person, there was one person who did not accept the bay'ah, who did not do bay'ah to Amir al-Mu'mineen. And then later came the time of Hajjaj bin Yusuf, one of the tyrant rulers in the Muslim Ummah. And when he took charge, this person who did not do bay'ah to Amir al-Mu'mineen, he became upset and he became afraid of humiliation. So he wanted to do bay'ah to this leader immediately. In the middle of the night, he went to his palace and knocked at the door, trying to see this ruler, and it was said to him, "It is night time, come tomorrow." He said, "No, I have a very important matter to discuss." So he was taken to this ruler, Hajjaj ibn Yusuf. He was sleeping in his bed. So why did you come to this? Why did you disturb me? I want to do bay'ah to you. I want to offer my allegiance to you. You could have waited till morning. He said, "No, I've heard from the Holy Prophet, whoever dies without doing bay'ah to the ruler dies the death of Jahiliyyah. I'm afraid if I die, what am I going to say to the Holy Prophet?" The person who refused to do bay'ah to Amir al-Mu'mineen out of fear of humiliation, look at how he's humiliating himself. Hajjaj ibn Yusuf said, "Well, I do not have the time to take your bay'ah with my hand, and you can do bay'ah on my foot." And he extended his foot while he was in his bed, and this person kissed his foot and did bay'ah, and he left happily. الناس من خوف الذل, people out of the fear of humiliation. من الذل, في الذل, are in humiliation. Imam, from the very first day, had said, "I'm not going to humiliate myself." When he left Medina in the middle of the day. He did not run away like a slave. Later on he said, "La أعطيكم بيدي إلتاء الذليل." I'm not going to give you my hand in your hand like a zalil person, like a humiliated person does. وَلَا أَفِرُّ فَرَارَ الْعَبِيدِ. Neither am I going to run away like a slave. He stood up to fight. Talking about Ibn Ziyad, إِنَّ الدَّعِي قَدْ رَكَضَ بَيْنَ اثْنَتَيْنِ. This person whose father is not known, and the father of his father is not known. إِنَّ الدَّعِي قَدْ رَكَضَ بَيْنَ اثْنَتَيْنِ, has focused, has left me with two, has given me two options. قَدْ رَكَضَ بَيْنَ اثْنَتَيْنِ, he has given me two options. بَيْنَ السِّلَّةِ وَالذِّلَّةِ, the sword and humiliation. Hayhat means dur hai humse. It's far off, far away is from us. Hayhat minna finna. Humiliation is far from us. That this is not an option. Humiliation is not an option. And he stood to his word till the very last moments. One of the verses that is attributed to him, he said, "Al-Maut khayrun min rukub al-aar." Beautiful statement. He says, death is better than humiliating oneself. Al-Maut khayrun min rukub al-aar. The second sentence is even more precious. Wal-aar awla min dukhul al-nar. Accepting humiliation is better than entering hellfire. ये दूसरे वर्ष में किस ह्यूमिलिएशन की बात हो रही है? The first one he says, accept that death is better than being humiliated. And the second phrase he says, being humiliated is better than entering hell. The second is the perceived second humiliation, and the second verse is the perceived humiliation that, for example, the youth might have when they have to do things under peer pressure. When you feel that if you do not do this, you will get humiliated by your friends. This kind of perceived humiliation that has nothing to do with Islam, it is better to accept this kind of humiliation than to do something and later enter the hellfire. Do not let peer pressure force you and thinking that because you will be humiliated in this society, that is functioning with a framework that is not in line with the teachings of Islam, you will be humiliated. Therefore, you end up doing things and later you end up in hellfire.